Hang on. Everybody ready?
Absolutely.
Want to start the meeting with the public hearing open space recreation and pathway 2020 update. You want to take over on that, Ray?
Yeah, we're going to leave if the rest of the town board agrees, leave this open for another month. Just in the past week and even yesterday and today, Ryan and I were getting some additional feedback from Margot, from a couple of different residents, also from Mark down at the park. And so we got a little more editing to do before we complete it. So I'd like to postpone any action on this until January.
Sounds good. Somebody want to make a motion to close the hearing?
You don't want to do that, do you, Ray?
No.
Yeah, we don't want to close it. We
Okay.
want to extend it. Extend it for 30 days?
Adjourn it?
Yes.
If
Yeah,
you just
I'll
want,
make-
if I'm
Tell
understanding,
us what to do, Mark.
if I'm understanding Councilman O'Connor correctly, you don't need to do any motion of any kind. You're just going to leave the hearing open. If I'm understanding Councilman O'Connor correctly,
You understand me correctly.
then no motion of any kind is needed. You're just leaving the public hearing open.
Pledge of Allegiance.
You want to welcome all to regular town December 3rd, 2020 Wilton Town Board meeting. I want to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
Allegiance
to the
to the
flag
flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sue, would you do the roll call, please?
Supervisor Land,
Here.
Deputy Supervisor McEachran,
Here.
Councilman Bogardus,
Present.
Councilwoman Culligan,
Present.
Councilman O'Connor.
Here.
All accounted for. Somebody want to make a motion to suspend the public comment?
I'll make the motion that we suspend public comment for December of 2020.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You want to make a motion to approve the last month's meetings, pending minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the pending minutes.
I'll
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
I did.
Thank you.
3 of us did.
Okay.
We all did.
Everybody read about the Beaver Dam local law?
Yeah, I had responded to that, just asking, just the inquiry that we're only giving people 30 days to make their payment. Looking at the price of Waller Road, I was wondering if we could extend that to maybe 90 days to give people some time to get finances in order.
Right. Makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Oh, we have to set up a public hearing date, right? So we can,
Yes.
Yes.
what do you want to do, Sue?
Set a public hearing for January
First Thursday is January 7th.
7th,
January
yes,
7th?
7 o'clock. No, 7:01 because we'll have the continuation of the
Open space.
Open space plan.
oh, yeah, the open space
Okay.
recreation and pathways update. So 7:01.
Do
I
you-
promise
do you
not to
think-
take, I promise not to take more than 60 seconds.
All
Do you
right.
think the payment would be appropriate to maybe based on the amount of the fine? Like if it's $500, maybe like 30 days isn't bad, but incrementally give people more time to pay it as the price increases? I'm just throwing it out there. I just don't know how quickly some people, I mean, $25,000, I mean, that's a lot of money
Yeah.
for people to come up with.
Yeah, this stems, if a little bit of the history here, Kirk is asking the board to put this forth and he would like to have a little more enforcement on property owners that do not allow him to manage the beavers that are causing issues and flooding out the roads. I don't know if you recall, Edie Road flooded this spring, and the town ended up paying $20,000 to repair that, and it was due in part to some beaver activity. So, and that property owner just recently has been refusing to allow the beavers to be trapped. He was willing to allow it to happen eventually once some insurance, forms were submitted and stuff like that. But this local law, I think would have some teeth to it, and let the property owners understand they're going to cause damage to the town roads, cause the town to spend money, so therefore put it on them to require less to allow to manage the beavers. So
Yeah,
Keeps
I
us-
agree with everything
Keeps
else.
us safe.
I agree with
Protects
the
us.
town getting access, DEC getting involved, requiring homeowners to allow that access. I agree with everything that was in there. Just the time frame for payment is kind of what stuck out to me as being somewhat unrealistic, depending on what that price is.
I agree with that.
and also this will be reviewed, I assume, by Mark Shackner's in any comments, or I don't know if you have any comments, Mark, regarding the time frame, what seems appropriate for other local laws with financial penalties such as this.
Most local laws that have financial penalties are not structured this way, but I'll take a look at it before the public hearing.
Thank you.
Do we
Okay,
have a motion for that, to set that public hearing?
I'll make that motion to set the public hearing for the Beaver Dam local law.
I'll
we have a
second.
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 All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Number 5, the Associated Towns Virtual Conference. We need a delegate and an alternate. You still want to do that, Councilman Bogardus?
Absolutely.
You want to be the alternate, Ryan?
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Can I get a motion for that, please?
Need a motion and a second?
Make a motion to, for Councilman Bogardus to be representative and Mr. Riper is the alternate.
Second?
Aye.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We need a motion for land dedication on Simonia Grove off Loudon Road.
I'll make that motion.
With a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All
Aye.
right. Target, their permit fee reduction request. You want to talk about that, Ryan?
Yeah, typically, historically, I should say, in the past, large warehouse facilities in the town, the board has reduced the permit fees or application fees for projects by 50%. Since it's a large square footage, the Target warehouse, I believe, is like 1.5 million square feet. So, to give them a little bit of a discount on their volume of area, we reduce it by 50%.
Are they looking to expand? Is that what it is, Ryan?
Roof work, some work on the roof. So no
Oh,
expansion.
Existing structure then?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Is that codified anywhere? And I'm not saying that to object to the reduction, but I'm wondering if we should look at codifying that so that it's, not something that's purely discretionary, depending on whether you got 500,000, a million square feet, or, a couple 100,000.
All fees are, up to the board and how it is. I understand what you're saying. So it's just not discretionary, but there's a general statement in our code stating, if anybody wants to object to the fees, they can go before the town board for
Okay.
review. And I do see that a representative from Target has his hand up. I don't know if he's available to speak, Josh.
He is now.
Barry, you're
Yes.
allowed to speak.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah, and I appreciate that, Ryan. Thank you very much. I don't want to take a lot of your time, but I can give you just a quick introduction. And
Hello.
so, my name is Barry Grieve. I'm with Target Corporation. I'm with our properties division, and actually a former building and fire inspector. So I have some insight on fees and establishing fees. And we might have some other people, some of our roofing experts on the call, possibly your contractor, if you have any questions. But we do appreciate the 50% reduction. We were going to ask for more, but I think we'll take anything we can get. But I'll give you a little background. First, I want to thank Sue and actually Mark Mikens, the supervisor for building. They've been really great to work with through this process and actually throughout the ownership of that building. But Target maintains over 2,400 buildings in our fleet throughout the country, and we replace over 100 store roofs a year and a few different distribution center roofs. So we have our own roofing team, and we're really familiar with the fees that other jurisdictions charge for those types of roofs. And this project, all they're doing is taking the membrane off. They are putting another, they call it a cover sheet to protect the insulation, and then a new membrane goes back on. So that's really the scope of work for this project. And it's going to start sometime in the spring. Hopefully the weather will break early and we'll be able to get to work on that, spring of 2021. We also, just in our best interest and to make sure that we are maintaining a building in a proper manner for the community, we have a third-party inspection firm that's going to be doing independent inspections besides what your building department will be doing. And just so you're aware, the permit fees that were quoted were $451,000, $216,000. So that's 20% of the cost of the roof replacement. And that's a large pill to swallow for anybody when they're not expecting that.
Yep.
I threw out a couple different things here. If you figure you're going to build a $230 house, your permit fees would be $45,000. That's a large chunk taken out of your budget. Small business, the roof would be $4,500 to replace a roof. So that's why we brought this to the board. And like I said, I really appreciate your taking this under consideration. Just for your awareness, we've done, I'm just going to throw out a couple different numbers for different roofs that we did in the last couple of years. One in Augusta, Georgia that was of similar size, the permit fees there were $51. Kalamazoo, Michigan, fees were $158. Huntsville, Alabama, this is probably more the outlier, but those fees were $13,800. I did check at little bit locally.
Have you have any comparisons in the state of New York?
I looked, the only one I looked at, and that's a very good question, sir. The one I looked at was city of Glen Falls, and I think their maximum permit fee is $2,000. So that's the only one I researched within the state of New York.
Hey, Barry, are you planning on being in the town of Wilton for an extended period of time?
Me personally?
The distribution center?
Oh, absolutely. We don't see Target going anywhere.
Okay.
That's over the last couple of years, we've invested over $16 million in that facility. So
right.
No. And that's why we're putting a new roof on it. It has a couple of patches on it now. It's getting close to end of life. So that's why we're spending another about $2.3 million on that roof to make sure that it's a good building for us in the future.
Now, how long have you been there?
That is a good question. I am not aware. I've been at Target 10 years, and I think we were there at least that long ago. So
2000.
That's what I thought.
20 years. Okay.
20 years.
Thank you.
So you're looking for a 50% reduction in the $450,000 fee?
That would help. I was actually looking for a lot more than that, but I would entertain any reduction because it would really help us.
What were you looking at?
So what I was looking at, and this is derived by kind of a fee for service proposal, and I know you have a really good building department. I've been in contact with Mark. I know he's out for some surgery, but what we were looking at was to make sure that your fees are covered. A lot of jurisdictions on commercial roofs do 1 to probably 5 inspections at the most. Mark said, they do more than that. They do a really thorough job. So what I did, and this is just kind of some math in my head, I put together a cost figure, trying to make sure that everything was accounted for. Rent within the town hall, vehicles, gas, every expense, administrative fees, plan reviews. And we just came up with a rough number of $1,000 an hour and figured in possibly 15 inspections. So we were thinking a $15,000 fee would be reasonable. It would make sure that the fees or expenses are covered. And that would be more in line with what we're seeing across the country.
And
In anybody's memory, have we had similar applications for the Ace Distribution Center, the Wilton Mall, or any other large structures in town? And if so,
It was 50%.
It was 50%?
We had Dollar General one time, but they didn't come here, but we offered them the same deal, 50%.
Right. And if we start mitigating these fees now, it's
Right.
not for the builders or me, somebody that just put a permit to expand on my business without any reductions to give the reductions out. I'm kind of astonished of the Glens Falls number. I mean, to me, you don't even have a distribution center in Glens Falls, so I'm not sure where that number came from.
That was actually from their website on their fee schedule.
I know I just spent a ton of money in fees to expand the building in the town of Wilton without a reduction and being on the board. To me, 50% I think is great. That'd be what I'd be willing to do.
Got a motion, John?
I'll make a motion that we reduce them by 50%.
Got a
I'll second that. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I oppose.
Passed.
Okay.
Any committee reports?
I talked to Robin. She said everyone is good. Seniors love their meals and are happy about the system being put in place in our buildings. They just need to stay safe and that they're beginning to see the light with the vaccine on the way. So things at the senior center seem to be doing okay, but I certainly think we need to keep, kind of that and kind of the forefront of our minds as we watch this uptick in number. Just to make sure that our most vulnerable are kept safe in the town.
Right.
So just to keep an eye, I certainly don't want to take the senior center away. I think that's so important, just like the kids being
very
in school. But I do want us to be very aware of, just making sure that we kind of have that in the back of our mind.
That's why we've gone back to these type meetings for a while, and so we see what's going to happen. We got to take it day by day for a while.
Agreed.
Anybody else got anything else?
No, sir.
I got a few things. I reappointed Chief Bill Morgan, Fire Department, back to the County Fire Advisory Board. He's been on it before. Very dedicated to the fire service and the residents of the town of Wilton. And we all know Bill. A while back, we had the Sheriff's Department and they did an active shooting course in their town hall building. It was just, they all learned a lot. Everybody in the building appreciated it. And they're going to do all the buildings for us, the highway, Gavin Park. Gavin Park, we had that problem with the water coming off the pavilion. And Ryan's agreed. I thank you for taking lead on that. They're gonna start next Thursday to dig and put some stone in there, so that problem will be gone. The water comes back into the cement inside.
Who's doing that work, John?
The building
In-house.
department and highway. Scott, Ryan's taking the lead.
You didn't want my help?
No, they talked about that. Somebody mentioned that, John. I don't want to say who, but I don't want to hurt your feelings, but
That's all right.
ask you. Because
Yeah,
I told him, I said, I don't think he's got time. Because I asked him to take 45 minutes and go with me to get some cameras. He didn't have time for that, so I don't think he got time for that one either. So, but thanks for the offer.
You didn't pick the cameras up?
I didn't know what to look for. That's why I wanted you to go. But we'll talk about that later.
No more of your signs got stolen and the deer are still out there, so don't worry about it.
And I'd like to see, we have some of the equipment for the ice rink we had over there before at the pavilion. You know, we made it, not us, but the residents have had it tough all summer with Gavin Park being closed. So I think it'd be a good thing that we try and get that up and running, the ice rink and that pavilion. That's what it was, part of it why it was built. So I'd like to have your support, and that'll be brought up on the controller's report. And all those new filters are all in all our buildings now. So that's, every building's done.
Is that the small pavilion or the large pavilion for the
The
ice
new
rink?
one, the large one.
Okay.
Might as well wait on fixing it. Let the water in there.
Was that the Harrington Pavilion?
Anybody got anything else? Maria, would you do the controller's report, please?
Okay, so we have some budget transfers, a rather long list, but keep it brief. Items 1 and 2 relate to legal fees, and we're just moving money from our contingent line to the legal fee line so that we can pay those. Items 3 through 16 are related to the surplus appropriation that we have in our highway fund for the several roads that were done for the road improvements this past spring and summer. So what happened was, when the roads were decided to be fixed, a budget was created for them based on information that was, guessed at. And when the invoices came in, the invoices were a little bit lower in each case. So we actually are saving some money. Item 17 is just that there's a random CDL requirement for drug testing, and we needed some money on that line, $123. So those are our budget transfers.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget transfers, items 1 through 17.
Get a second?
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed.
The second item is budget amendments, and in the first case, we are moving some money to make way for a new mobile lift system for the highway garage. So we are going to increase our sales tax for that. I feel very confident that our sales tax will actually come in a little bit higher than what we've already adjusted it down to. We're experiencing the past several months declines that are far less than what we thought, than what we budgeted down to. So we do have some room in the budget to spend for this hydraulic lift mobile system. The hydraulic lift that's there in the highway garage now is on very shaky ground. The concrete surrounding the lift is cracked, and there will be an efficiency created because the new lift will be mobile. Instead of taking up the space in the bay that's there and being a permanent structure, we'll actually be able to move that lift between bays, freeing up space for other things. So that's that item. The second item is that the town was awarded money from the county, from the Partnership for Prosperity, and each town that applied was awarded $7,100 to help a business in the area. And we were made aware of some dire repairs that were needed at the Wilton Historical Society. They had petitioned us for money at a time when we were not thinking about spending a dime more than what we had to. So we reached out to the Partnership for Prosperity, and they came through for us. So what we have to do is recognize the revenue from the county and the expenditure to the Historical Society when we actually give them the money. So basically we're a pass-through, but we're recognizing the revenue and the expenditure on our books. So that's what that item is. And the last item is the amount of money that we're actually saving by cutting down the amount of roads that we were going to do when we first prepared the 2020 budget back in 2019. We had a rather lengthy list of roads that we were going to do permanent improvements on. And then COVID came, and the highway department was very gracious in working with us to help to save some money. So that, coupled with the savings that we realized on the roads that we did do, that we just took care of in the budget transfer section, allowed us to save over $460,000. So we're reducing the sales tax burden that the town would ordinarily need in order to pay the bills with that item. So those are the three budget amendments.
And
I'll make a
Make a
motion to approve.
yeah, I did talk to Kurt and the guys about that lift system, and I agree it's definitely something that they need, and
Yeah.
it's expensive, but it's the safest bet. So
Yeah, we got 20 years out of an old lift system, so it's time.
yeah, unfortunately, it was the floor underneath it that gave out.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd like to make a motion.
I'll
Brian,
make the
did you engineer
motion.
that floor?
Second,
Second.
Second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving along.
All right, so the last section is asset disposals and additions, and this is the time of year we have department heads looking at the assets that they have, that they are either no longer using, or that are in a state of disrepair that can be used for scrap, or that they're just, they're coming to a point where it's more costly to keep it and do repairs on it versus selling it on Auctions International. So at the park, Mark Marino and his staff identified the items that are listed on the report, such as generators, compressors, mowers, and such, that they would like to sell on Auctions International.
Maria, once those are sold, does that money get appropriated back into their budget? Like, is there something they're planning on using it for? Or does it go into kind of a contingency budget for the park?
That's a very good question. So what we do is, there's usually not a request to do it exactly like that. So the money goes back into the general fund in this case because it's parks, and park is part of the general fund. If it was highway equipment that was being sold, it would go into the highway fund. But it's not appropriated for anything specific unless there's a request made that, we want to sell this piece of equipment because we want to replace it with something similar. And we'll see that in, the next couple of items where that does happen. But in this case, the money's just going to go back into the general fund, and we're going to recognize the revenue. It's not going to be appropriated.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So we have the ice rink mentioned here. The cost information is being gathered. Just today, we received some information related to it. We think it's going to be approximately $10,000 that we would like to budget for. Of course, we want to come in under that number. So we are going to fund that with currently available funds. There's no impact on fund balance. In other words, we're not pulling money in by appropriating fund balance, so our surplus won't be touched. So that is that item under the park. Then we have highway garage. We already discussed that we're going to replace the hydraulic lift. So the current hydraulic lift is going to be sold more than likely for scrap. And that is going to help to offset the cost of the $70,000 lift.
That did go on Auctions International, am I correct?
Right, but this is our plan with that is to leave it up, put it out the bid. People can come in, see that it works. Somebody want to put it, so a junkyard might want to buy it or somebody like that.
I
Let
wouldn't
it,
sell for scrap.
no, that's how we're gonna, and the highway department can disassemble it for them, and there'd be no liability. Once it's in the truck, it's all theirs. But at least they can see it still works. It just got one of the legs is bent. But that's how we plan on doing it.
Can we have the purchaser disassemble? Because if
Oh,
we,
because it's on our property, something happened.
well, my concern is if we disassemble it and they buy it and then they get it there and it doesn't work, they're gonna try to
Doesn't
say,
matter.
No, because on our international bids, it says everything's as is and
As
once
is,
we-
where is it?
okay,
that's how we're set up.
all right.
Right, right. On the actual Auctions International site, it'll say, you know, taken as is, and that the town has no liability for any damage to the equipment or to the purchaser's vehicle. And so the last item under asset disposals and additions is that Scott Harrington is requesting to sell a truck. It's a 2015 Ford on Auctions International, and he'd like to replace it with a new truck that we are going to procure, if approved, on the New York State OGS mini bid system.
And I
And
talked to
again-
Scott as well.
Yeah, I did too.
It's
20
new.
2015 doesn't seem too old. How many miles are on it and why are we replacing it?
It's
Correct,
got
so-
electrical issues on it.
Got some issues.
There's
What's that?
electrical,
Sorry.
It's got some issues. We could probably still get 12 to 15,000 for that truck. So I think it's a good time to trade it in while it's got some value.
And what's the cost of the new truck?
the new truck will be approximately $35,000 to $40,000, depending upon, I would say mostly it's going to land in the mid $30,000 range. We haven't put it on the OGS mini bid site yet, so we don't know, but it's going to be a truck that's going to have the same attributes as the current truck. So it's not, you know, anything over and above what we would currently spend.
I don't think that's 35,000 either. I think it's more like 26.
It might be lower. It
And
might be
then that-
lower.
I think
The
it'd be
price-
30 or a little less, because you
The
just.
price we get on Auctions International will come, it'll be applied toward that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And the service bills, we get $2,000 or $3,000 service bills against it at one given time. So it's just, unfortunately, if we wait 2 more years, the value goes down significantly and
It's just like replacing equipment.
Right.
that is a 2500 series, am I correct?
Right.
Right, so we're getting the better truck at the cheaper price.
Right.
Absolutely.
For some reason, 2500s are cheaper than 1500s.
Wait, does somebody want to make a motion to approve these 4 requests?
I'll make a motion.
We approve under asset disposal and additions, A, B, all 4 of them, and we,
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
I just got a couple things. I've tried for the last few years to get, which it's the dream of pictures of all our ex-supervisors, and it's never going to happen. But as you walk into the building, come through the doors on the left, Nancy got a plaque made, and it shows all our past town supervisors from the beginning of when the town started. So if you get a chance, go up and get a look at it. I really like to see it move someplace else where people can really see it. But Nancy did a nice job with it. And I just want to thank all you for 2020. It was a very tough year with this COVID, the storms, and I appreciate how everybody worked together as a team, and even all our ups and downs. And, you know, I see now that these budgets are out. Most of them had to raise and do a lot of cutting. We even lowered ours and never lost no service to the residents. And that's because I believe we have the best controller in the country, Maria and Lisa. And I want to thank everybody for all their hard work and that budget cutting it. And I'd like to thank Sue Baldwin and her staff. The town is very lucky to have those girls. They're a big asset to this town. I can thank Ryan Riper for his leadership, always being there, all the advice he gives me. Everything Nancy Riley does, just putting up with me is enough.
You get extra pay, hazard pay for that.
Right, you know, got to thank the highway department, you know, he's worked with us all year long through those storms, short of help, you know, they did an excellent job. Planning and zoning people, Josh, you doing all these zones, Bobby Williams helping us with our emergency plan. You know, this town is very lucky, you know, I've been around there all year, I haven't missed many days. This town is so lucky for our employees, and so are we, because I can tell you, every building I've gone to, everybody gives this town 130%. We are so fortunate. I tell everybody I am the luckiest supervisor in Saratoga County. I mean that. I'm proud of all of you. The great job you do, and you all get along. There's no negativity. Everybody does. Our court system, what they've had to put up with, I just feel sorry for, you know, the shortage of help, just all these headache phone calls, because I know you all get a lot more than I do. I just want to thank everybody. And I thank our legal staff for always keeping us out of trouble, Mark and Leah, and you do a great job for us, Mark, and I appreciate it, because you always tell us the truth, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I wish everybody have a happy and safe holiday, all our town residents, and I pray to God we have a better 2021. And thank you all for everything.
Thank you.
John.
Thank you, John.
Well said.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you
Right.
and amen.
Ray?
Yeah.
Can you leave next Friday open 11 o'clock? We got to talk about it. I got a meeting. I want you there about something.
Let me just check my calendar real quick. Make sure.
I'll give you a call tomorrow and tell you about it.
I think Ray's keeping you in the dark on this one.
Yeah,
Yeah, at 11 o'clock next Friday?
yeah,
Yeah, I'm good.
town hall. Mark, how's your mom?
She's hanging in there. Thanks a lot for asking. I appreciate it.
Good man. Somebody want to make a motion to,
What about your daughter, Aaron?
how's she doing?
She's good. Thank you. Yeah, she got home Sunday.
Oh, after her stint, after she's done with her stint up here?
She's healthy. She got her taste and smell back today. So she's one happy camper.
Good, good.
I am free. Thank God. Happy to see the rest of my kids. Thank you for asking. Yeah, no. We're good. We're happy. We're good.
Everybody keep safe and healthy. Somebody want to make a motion to end it?
Make a motion to end it. End the year.
Yeah, end the year.
Yeah, I'll second.
Second,
Crazy. 1 year under our belt already.
I'll second.